And the moment of truth. There it is. And we are going to fly straight past it. Hello there everybody, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we get to talk about nature while playing games. We are back in Avater, Frontiers of Pandora, as you can see, and we're trying to climb some mushrooms here. And we are still in the clouded forest. Now we are back here with the big old gentle sailfin Goliath, because I do want to test out something else. So last time we used sailfin Goliath here to actually be hidden from the Thanators. I want to find out whether we can do the same with the Stormgliders that are also around in the clouded forest. So, stay tuned to find out. So of course, first we make the bond, and then it's off to the races. And as you can see, now we are running past the mere deer here, and it still does not react. So even with that and with our... oh, okay, interesting. With our weapons drawn, the mere deer will still react. Okay, good to know that. But as we ran past it, it did not react. Now, I want to see... I believe right over here, around here somewhere, I think those are the stone sentinels, there should be some Stormgliders around. So let's quickly fly over and find out. Of course, on the way there, we are going to be taking out some RDA helicopters, because they do not belong in the Pandoran skies. So there we go. Of course, we are not hidden from them, because they are not Pandoran wildlife. So yeah, they are from outside of this world, and therefore not affected by the sailfin Goliath's buff. Alright, so there, right up ahead, there is, in fact, a Stormglider. Now, I want to test two things. I want to see whether it comes after us if we are on our Ikran, and I want to see whether it comes after us if we are on foot. So, let's fly closer. Thing is, technically our Ikran does not have the pheromones or the compounds on it that the sailfin Goliath had released. So... oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful creature. And the moment of truth. There it is. And we are going to fly straight past it. And it is ignoring us. Oh my goodness. Who knew you'd be able to fly with the Stormgliders? Such a beautiful coloration. The almost black blue, the yellow, the white. So if we now go and quickly just drop down onto the ground here, it again should not attack us. But if you look from below, that whiter color there, that is very well camouflaged, or quite well camouflaged against the clouds above. And then there is slightly darker colors above, a little bit of blotches, yellow and white and bluish black. And that then is a little bit more camouflaged against the darker ground. Now, it's not a single color, because if you look at the landscape below us, it's not a single color either. This is more a form of disruptive camouflage, where there are a whole bunch of different colors blotched together to hide the outline of the creature. But the darker color above and lighter color below is an example of what we call counter shading. And this is something that is very often observed in marine creatures. So many marine animals like fish and whales and dolphins, all those things, and sharks, they'll all have light below and dark above. So that if a predator, for example, looks from above or below, they're not able to see it, because the lighter color blends better with the light of the sky, and the darker color from above blends better with the deep waters below. Or if they're trying to hide from their prey, the same applies. They are not able to spot them from above nor below, because they are relatively well camouflaged, whichever way you look at them. If this creature were just a single color, it would, for example, stand out either against the light here, or it would stand out against the ground. So having two different colors, having counter shading, is really a great way to be hidden from your predators or from prey. The Stormglider will most likely do what the Verreaux's eagle in South Africa does, and that is to actually hunt prey by soaring, looking for food, and then approaching from the direction of the sun, where first of all the prey is blinded, but then secondly that lighter color also makes it even more difficult to spot it, even if it is just circling around there. So the Verreaux's eagle hunts little hyraxes, little dassies as we call them in South Africa, one of the closest relatives of elephants, or even though they're about the size of a medium-sized rabbit. So it doesn't look like an elephant at all, but they are related. And oh my word, it is so amazing to be able to stand here looking at the Stormglider and not be attacked by it. And for the next 22 minutes, we can do this. That is just amazing. Now, while we are here, this is one of the reasons why one wants to do this. There should be some exquisite quality branches on this area, in this area here. There is superior Sheen branch here. There is exquisite quality down here. So we can quickly go drop down here and come and grab it. And then there is another one here. And the nice thing is we are still not being attacked. So we can carry on here looking for branches, doing our thing, no problems whatsoever. Of course, there will come a day when we will hunt a Stormglider, but it is not this day. This day, we are just observing them peacefully. So very similar to the Ikran, of course, with a big set of wings and then the smaller set of wings, most likely used for steering rather than powered flight, whereas the big wings, of course, used for powered flight. Still interesting that you have got, similar to the Ikran, you also have the solid membrane of the wing and then a few, like feathers, at the tips. Can most likely be folded in, gives a little bit more maneuverability, especially into areas that are a little bit perhaps tighter squeezes. And here we are, just flying along with our friend the Stormglider. Now, just looking at the size comparison here, I mean, there we are with our Ikran, and there is the Stormglider. And this creature is so massive. Really, really massive. Now, it apparently has a venomous barb at the tip of its tail, and the hunter's guide does say it's poisonous, but it's not poisonous. In fact, it is venomous. The difference being that if you bite something and you die, that thing was poisonous, and if that something bites you and you die, then that thing was venomous. So venom has to be injected into you some way, whereas poison you ingest yourself. You kind of, your own stupidity. That results in you being poisoned. In this case, it is a venomous barb. Similar to stingrays or those types of things, and scorpions also will have a venomous sting at the tip of their tail. So they will use that apparently to incapacitate their prey. And it seems that that is actually strong enough to pierce through even the strongest hide. So I'm not sure even whether the Self and Goliath would technically be safe from the Stormglider. But then, of course, with the pheromones that the Self and Goliath is using, maybe it does also just reduce the likelihood of these Stormgliders actually attacking them. And maybe that was one of the reasons why they developed it. Maybe they realized that, listen, we can't actually defend ourselves against these big things. Maybe we should find a mechanism to defend ourselves. Now, of course, maybe they didn't think like that. It may have just happened naturally with the things that they ate that resulted in some kind of secretion that kept them safe. And of course, that trait then got passed on to the next generation. And that is how that would work. Really, really formidable. This thing, if you're looking at its face here, just that bit there kind of resembles a great white shark with the gums and the teeth sticking out like that. Interesting that it's got a bit of a ramming nose here as well as a little chin there. I'm not sure whether that will do any damage whatsoever. I think the Stormglider, the main attack is, of course, its venomous tail there. The mouth here, not really used in the attack, most likely just used to tear flesh off the bones. Now, what I did find interesting is that the Stormgliders here are not immune to what we call kleptoparasitism, which is when you catch something and something else steals your food. So steals what you have worked hard to actually catch. So when they have caught something similar to leopards, they will carry it off into an area where it's inaccessible to other predators, things like thanators and viper wolves and whatever other predators may be in the area. They will carry it onto a high ledge. Interesting, not trying to keep it safe from banshees, so I'm not sure whether the banshees don't act like vultures or whether they do, and it was perhaps just not mentioned in the hunter's guide, but they will carry it off onto a high ledge if it is light enough to be carried. If, however, the prey animal that they have killed is actually too large, then they will feed on the ground and use their venomous tail to try and keep other predators away. And then lastly, we have only one Stormglider in this area, and that is how you'll usually find them. Now, sometimes you will find a pair, and then it is a mated pair, but they do not mate for life. Unlike many raptors, many big eagles, for example, like the Vero's eagle I mentioned earlier, they actually will mate for life, and a male and female will defend the territory ad infinitum, until they die, basically. These ones, though, they will find a new partner every year. Yes, it may end up being the same partner as last year, but very often it is actually a new partner, and they will stay together only for the time that they are raising their offspring, and then they will move on. Then they become solitary again. And that's partly because these things are massive. It takes a lot of food to maintain one of these creatures. And you can imagine the extra effort, the extra resources it requires to actually maintain a pair in a territory permanently, and then also when they raise their chicks to then maintain them and their young. So it doesn't make sense for them to actually stick together. They are solitary except when they actually are breeding. And then for a short period of time, these creatures will have a massive impact on the local wildlife down there. And then once the chick has actually fledged and it's on its own, then they scatter again. They become solitary and they have less of an impact on the prey base in the area that they are. It's just interesting to theorize regarding that. Really such a beautiful, beautiful creature, and I am very thankful that we got to spend some time with it without it chasing us. Alright, now, back to the story. We will be heading deeper into the Avater once more. Last time we were here at Tapcon 1. We are now going to go to this Tangoheart area, I believe it is, where the Sarentu Moot was held. So let's head on over. Now, just before we head into the Avater there are also some fog blooms over here. And interestingly enough, it is open at the moment. So these fog bloom will only open up with a fruit like this if it is foggy, which it currently is. And this is possibly related to the moisture in the air. Interesting that it doesn't happen if it is raining though, but yeah, probably stimulated by the moisture in the fog. And then as a result, it opens up. And then whatever can eat the seeds will actually eat the seeds and disperse it. So it requires a specific condition for the seeds to be dispersed. Alright, now I believe we are getting closer to the Sarentu Moot. Whenever I hear the word moot, I immediately think of Lord of the Rings with the Ent Moot, where the Ents were gathering to discuss important matters. So I assume that the Sarentu Moot was probably also that.
I'm at the location and... It's a sad, desolate place, Nor. Did our people really come here? It's thick with Yahweh and nothing grows.
I wish I could see. Is there anything from our people? Why did Alma go there? Did the Kamitire lie to her? It was so long ago. There might not be anything left to find. Another dead end.
I'll have a closer look. Don't despair yet.
So there's a mural, it seems, of some kind.
Oh, no. There are rock paintings and children's toys. It all feels strangely familiar.
That must be the Sarentu Moot site. I remember. Rocks decorated with our stories. The figures danced in the firelight. We played among our families.
Touching these things. It's like reaching a hand back in time.
And there are some more things here also.
I found something wonderful.
Tell me.
Gifts from the Kamitire. Beautiful artifacts.
The other clans always gave gifts when we left. As kids, we got excited to see what they were.
I wish I remembered. But the best bit is that I found Anufi's vials, untouched in baskets.
So, they didn't even use the medicines Anufi gave our clan.
Okay, and as far as I recall, Anufi was in a great state of despair because she had killed all the Sarentu with these little things that, well, are unopened, so she was not responsible. The question then is, who was responsible? I suspect we'll find out soon enough. Because, spent RDA bullets.
So many spent bullets. RDA and Sarentu clashed here, Nor. This must be the place Alma mentioned. The Sarentu were all here.
The perfect ambush.
I think so. And now, it's just remnants of everyone we loved. My blanket? That scent. It's her. Sapnu.
Satno?
Nalupalut eni muma evi. Zenehivahaw.
Smuke the say.
Ahat iwor ko laf teliman si vunubor. Sunungar way white telem kefya. Torola yungar lora white telemanim. Devurit ne yappy
Oh no. Well, that was intense. So many things to do, so many answers we need, and you'll start by finding Okul right in front here somewhere. Okul, are you here? Hello.
You are back. I thought you were lost to the Avater. Everything is bad. She's in the circle of ancestors. She's an Awa, scouring her memories to find why you are alive.
One eternity later.
So that was quite a long cutscene and I had to cut that one out, otherwise it will take up half the video. But you will be able to view it when we do the live stream, of course, as well, with this section in the game. Now, in essence, what happened was that Mokasa gave up the Sarentu's position to the RDA so that they could take the Sarentu's children instead of the Kametire children. And then he blamed Anufi over here and said that they died because she poisoned the Sarentu. Turns out that no, he was responsible for our death via the RDA, and he is now banished as a result of that. And Anufi has been redeemed, which is marvelous.
Priya, the Kametire agreed to help. Their Tsahik is on her way to you. Anufi.
She's coming here? Now? Oh, wow. Oh, that's great. People are holding out here. Rinella and Noor have been looking for supplies to help, but,
I'm on my way back too. I just need to find something for Anufi. There's a certain kind of animal. Anyway, she says it will help.
I hope so. Good luck out there.
Now, in order to continue with the quest, we do need to go and hunt a deer. Thankfully, that shouldn't be too difficult. We don't have our buff anymore, so I need to be careful when I'm running and stuff, so I don't accidentally chase away the deer. But oh, look at that, there are some future victims right down there. Huh. Haven't killed any of them today. And there we go. That's done. Easy peasy. Pandora lemon squeezy. Aha, there is in fact a deer right over there. Now we need to hunt it and we need to let it leave this world with peace in its heart. So basically a clean kill. Shouldn't be too difficult. And there we go. Now, just to keep the shroud away, I forgot about the shroud there for a moment.
Thank you for these gifts.
But there we go.
I promise I'll use this well. You'll save a lot of people.
And now we need to take that to the Resistance headquarters. But before we do, we are traveling back to the upper plains because there's something I really want to show you. Okay, it is actually now nighttime, which is perfect because this is when you need to do this. Now, I didn't find this myself. There was a Reddit post by Advanced Document 895 who found this. But if you go a little bit here to the west of the Celebration Valley, so of the Celebration Arches, there's this kind of weird rock, this pointy rock. And right around there is where we need to head. As we come flying into this area here, which is right underneath, so it's this little section over here, there's a little bit of a cave system here. As you come in here, your Ikran starts glowing a little bit more vibrantly. And in certain areas, like this area here, it just lights up even more. I mean, look at that. Now, this means that the Ikran most likely is able to adjust the amount of bioluminescence that it emits. And in this case, because this area around it is really lighting up, and there's some kind of stimulus in this environment, the Ikran is lighting up even more. Now, this makes me theorize that maybe, just maybe, at least some subpopulations of the Ikran here would actually be coming to these areas during their mating displays, because I don't believe the Hunter's Guide actually mentions anything regarding the mating displays of the Ikran, and I can't recall ever reading anything about the lore thereof. But it is, I think, quite possible that these areas with the highly bioluminescent lichen and shrubs, these areas would be very good areas for them to actually come in and display like this, really be brightly colored. And I've seen the photos of really brightly colored Ikran from that when they come into this area. So the bioluminescence really exceptional. I think there may actually be an area where it's even more pronounced, but this is as bright as I can get it today, so we'll have to check it out at some point. But it could also be that instead of being some kind of display, they could actually be trying to blend in. Because you can see how we stick out. As a Na'vi, without the bright bioluminescence of the Ikran here, I mean, we are clearly visible against the bright background here. And if this Ikran here were trying to stalk the mule deer that are down there somewhere, it is going to stand out like a sore thumb if it doesn't have this bright bioluminescence. But by being this brightly colored now, it is blending in a little bit more with the surroundings. So it is, to some extent, more camouflaged. And if we head out into the open world, where it's not necessary to be as brightly colored, again the bioluminescence is more subdued. But as soon as we come into the area with the bright bioluminescence, we just check our little one here. Immediately the bioluminescence flares up again as we then become more camouflaged in this bright bioluminescence area. Just something interesting I thought I should share with you all. And I believe that is where we are going to call it a day, everybody. So thank you very much for joining us on a little adventure. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. And then also, if you haven't yet, please do subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow. It just brings a massive smile to my face whenever I see another new subscriber. So have a lovely week further, everybody. Nick and I will be back on Sunday, of course, to stream. And we will be streaming Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. So come and join us then. South African time, 6 to 10 in the evening. And of course, as always, everybody, stay safe. We'll see you all soon. Bye.